The sun had just started to rise over the Miami skyline. Two friends, Marcus and Jordan, both in their early 30s, met for coffee at a downtown cafe. Marcus, dressed in a sharp suit, was beaming. "Just closed on a 3-bedroom in the suburbs," he said proudly. "Finally a homeowner." Jordan raised an eyebrow. "Congrats, man." "Meanwhile, I just signed another lease. Same apartment, 2 blocks from here." Marcus scoffed. "Still renting? You're just throwing money away." But Jordan leaned back, calm and confident. "Maybe. Or maybe I'm investing my money instead of tying it up in a roof that leaks and taxes that climb." They both had a point. And that's the dilemma, isn't it? For decades, we've been told that buying a home is the ultimate financial milestone. But more and more people, especially younger generations, are asking, is renting actually smarter for building wealth? In this video, we're going to break it all down. The hidden costs of homeownership no one talks about, the real financial advantage of renting, and how your decision could either grow or drain your wealth over time. Back-end index pointing right. If you're trying to make the smartest choice for your future, you need to hear this. YW checkmark. So before we dive in, hit that like button, subscribe for more honest money talk, and stick around till the end, because what you'll learn today might just change your next big decision. For Marcus, buying a house wasn't just a transaction. It was a dream come true. Raised in a working-class family, he had spent years watching his parents struggle to make ends meet in rented apartments. His father used to say, "If you don't own it, it's not really yours." So, when Marcus finally signed the paperwork for a $450,000 home in the suburbs, it felt like victory. He imagined Sunday barbecues in the backyard, his kids riding bikes in the driveway, and the pride of knowing he had made it. It wasn't just a house. It was stability, success, and status. And he wasn't alone. Across the U.S., homeownership has long been considered the cornerstone of the American dream. Financial gurus, family elders, and government policies have all promoted the same message. Buy a home, build equity, secure your future. It's an emotional decision, not just a financial one. That sense of pride, permanence, and accomplishment is powerful. But here's the twist. What no one told Marcus was that behind the white picket fence was a long list of costs, risks, and financial trade-offs. While Marcus was busy celebrating, Jordan was running numbers. He'd done the math. And for him, the dream looked different. At first, Marcus only saw the monthly mortgage payment, $200. Manageable, he thought. A bit tight, sure, but doable. But within 3 months, reality knocked on the front door, alongside a bill from the HOA, an unexpected property tax reassessment, and a leaking water heater. $600 for a new heater, $300 for tree trimming, $1,200 in annual homeowner's insurance. And that pristine lawn the realtor boasted about, it needed fertilizing, mowing, and irrigation repairs. One evening, Marcus sat at the kitchen table, credit card in one hand, unpaid invoices in the other. The dream was beginning to feel like a financial trap. Meanwhile, Jordan, the renter, watched from afar. He had no property tax bill to worry about, no surprise maintenance emergencies. And instead of funneling money into home repairs, he was investing aggressively. Index funds, REITs, a side hustle flipping refurbished laptops. His net worth was growing, not because he owned a house, but because he avoided becoming house poor. Jordan's rent? $1,600 flat. No extras. And if the AC broke, his landlord fixed it. Marcus had equity. Jordan had flexibility. And in just 1 year, Jordan had saved nearly $15,000. Money that Marcus couldn't touch because it was locked in drywall and plumbing. That's when Marcus started asking himself, what exactly did I buy? And was it really worth it? By the end of that first year, the contrast between Marcus and Jordan's financial lives couldn't have been clearer. Marcus, the homeowner, had gained maybe $6,000 in home equity, but he had also added $10,000 in credit card debt. Between rising utility costs, HOA fees, and a surprise roof inspection, his savings were nearly gone. Jordan, on the other hand, had built a small investment portfolio, $15,000 spread across index funds, a fractional stake in a rental property via a crowdfunding platform, and a modest emergency fund. He didn't own a home, but he had something just as powerful: liquidity and leverage. Here's what Jordan figured out that most people don't. Owning a home can build wealth, but only if you're in it for the long haul, and only if that ownership doesn't come at the cost of everything else. Jordan rented smartly, keeping his housing expenses to less than 30% of his income, and invested the difference. He didn't buy into the renting is throwing away money myth because he saw the bigger picture. He was playing a different wealth game. By year 2, Jordan had a side hustle that brought in an extra $500 per month. By year 3, that side hustle had grown into a full-blown e-commerce store. Meanwhile, Marcus? He was still fixing things around the house and barely keeping up. The choice wasn't about pride. It wasn't about being a homeowner or a renter. It was about strategy. And Jordan's strategy was working. Let's be clear, buying a home isn't a bad decision. In fact, for many Americans, it can be a powerful wealth-building move. But the key is knowing when it makes sense and when it doesn't. For Jordan, the timing wasn't right. He wanted flexibility. He wasn't sure he'd stay in the city for more than 5 years. He didn't want to tie up all his savings in a down payment, especially not when the housing market was hot and interest rates were unpredictable. For Marcus, the dream of homeownership blinded him to those factors. He thought owning was always better, but he didn't calculate the full cost: property taxes, maintenance, closing fees, insurance, and the opportunity cost of money he could have invested. Here's when buying a home makes sense. You plan to stay put for 7+ years. You have a stable income and emergency savings. You can put at least 10 to 20% down. You've compared the total cost of ownership to renting in your area. You're not sacrificing investing just to own a home. Here's when renting might be smarter. You want to stay flexible, especially for career changes or relocation. Your local housing market is overpriced. You'd have to stretch to afford the mortgage. You want to invest aggressively and grow liquid assets. You're still figuring out your lifestyle or family goals. In short, buying is a financial move. Renting is a strategic one, and neither guarantees wealth, but how you manage your money around them does. So what's the real answer? Rent or buy? It depends on you. Let's bring back Jordan and Marcus. Jordan kept renting, but he wasn't wasting money. He lived below his means, invested consistently, and used his flexibility to take a higher-paying job in another city. He wasn't chasing the dream of homeownership. He was chasing financial freedom. 5 years later, he had over $90,000 in investment returns. And guess what? He finally bought a house. On his terms. Marcus? He struggled. Mortgage payments, maintenance bills, and rising property taxes meant he couldn't invest, couldn't save, and couldn't breathe financially. He wasn't poor, but he wasn't building wealth either. He was just surviving. Here's the truth. Buying a house doesn't automatically make you rich. Renting doesn't automatically make you poor. The key is understanding your goals, your timeline, and your finances. Ask yourself, will buying this home help me build wealth or hold me back? Am I ready for the true costs and responsibilities of ownership? Is renting giving me the breathing room to grow financially? Because the richest people don't always own homes. They own freedom, and that comes from smart decisions, not emotional ones. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more financial storytelling, and drop a comment below. Would you rather rent and invest or buy and settle down? See you in the next one. And remember, it's not about the house. It's about the plan.